when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine too.
Where's... There it is. Ooh, piece of paper.
Nobody on here yet. We get a notification on here. Whoa.
I'll find out.
I have to refresh too.
I don't know how you do that.
I don't know where the remote notification.
It's over here.
Gee, Christmas. It's violated in pre-Christmas week.
Hello. I'm trying to do something. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna try. How is everybody? Who's on here? Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Janet. Hi, Vicky. Kathy, welcome. Patsy Wilkerson, welcome. Ruth Latshaw, Carol Gammon, Lana. And Hayfley, welcome to Joan Sews. I'm trying to... Hi, Cheryl Stevens. Trying to view the live on my TV because, you know, it's nice to be able to see what you see. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Karen. I've never actually joined a live online, so I'm joining my own. I may not know how to do that. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Karen. Hi, Stephanie. I think I figured it out. Woo! I did. It's the little wins. Thank you.
Find it?
I did. It's up there. Maybe. Huh. That might throw me off.
Oh, lag there.
A little weird. Okay, so maybe not that great of an idea, but anyway. That's a lot of lag. Anyway, welcome.
Moving on.
Today,
Hey, Janice.
I have been playing. Mentioned last week we're doing the Strippy Stars ruler from Creative Grids, and I've done two. This one, I'm using a fat eighth bundles. So, fabric out of my stash. Let me just tell you, these are so easy to do. I have spent more time ironing than, but this is the size I landed on. This is a 12-inch finish block. I'm using fat eighths. I don't quite have enough fabric. I was surprised I got one out of it. but we're doing, what size is this? It is 10.5-inch finish. So this is an 11-inch block. So anyway, shall we get started? Do our sound check and...
Give us a sound check. Hey, Kathy.
Well, while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and do our intro because I know you want to see how to do this.
Sure.
We are Joan Sews, Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, and Quilt Sampler. The websites are joansews.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, quiltershq.com, and quiltsampler.com. And tonight, we're talking about strippy stars. This is, if you go to Quilters HQ and go to the Joan Sews patterns up at the top, or Joan Sews project, there's a link to this ruler. You want this. If you don't have it, you're going to want it. So we'll talk about the ruler for a minute, or we can go over to the other one.
Facebook is good.
Great. YouTube? Well, YouTube's good. I'm looking at YouTube.
Yeah. Where are the Quilt Sampler people at? And the Windmill Sewing Center people? Where are you guys at?
So, I'm going to switch over to where my sewing machine is. I'm going to show you how to cut one of these. So, I've already got some stuff pressed. So, set those aside.
Hey, Peggy, Merry Christmas to you too.
And so I'm going to pick up my 4.5-inch ruler, my Creative Grids tool, a piece of white paper so you can see what the Creative Grids tool looks like, ruler,
hey Donna,
and rotary cutter. And we're going to go over to the other machine. I'm going to take these with me. And we're going to go over to the machine. This one. 3. Number 3. Okay.
So Karen wanted to know if we have the rulers.
They have been ordered. They are on the way. Let me turn this so that it looks right to you.
There's a link for you guys.
Wrong camera. Or did you already do it? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So on the ruler, you have all of these different sizes of lines. So 3-inch finished, 3.5 square is what you would cut, and you would need a 2-inch strip. So it's kind of cool that they're giving you all of the measurements all the way down to 1-inch finish. So what they're talking about is in your block,
Karen said, will you hold one for me? Hello, Bernie.
yes. So when they're talking about the size, they're talking about one section of your block. So 1-inch finished, 1.25-inch strip.
Hey, Carol, welcome to the show.
So let's go ahead. I've got my Quilter Select mat. I'm using both. So I've already pre-pressed, and I'm using the 4-inch finished, or no, 3.5 finished 4-inch block and a 2.25-inch strip.
Hey, Mary.
I've got my ruler, and we're just going to measure kind of close. So this is a 4.5-inch ruler.
Hey, Melissa. Hope you are too.
And I am doing all 8 at once. So if you haven't used the the Quilter Select rulers and mat together,
Hey, Cecilia. Hey, Amber Coffee. How are you tonight?
they are pretty delightful. Okay, so there are my 8 pieces of my block, which is going to be all the way around.
Hey, Debbie.
I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to cut our 2. I've already pre-cut some. We're going to set those aside. We're going to cut our 2 2¼ inch strips. And these don't have to be perfect, just kind of close enough. There's 1, 2.
We're doing pretty well.
And then 1 4½ inch or 4-inch square. So out of all my 2 fat 8s, that's all I have left. I'm going to use these little pieces to, when I do a sashing, to separate the blocks. And they'll be cornerstones. When you draw, you're not going to use like a friction pin because you're going to iron this, and if you use one of those, your marks are going to disappear. So I'm just using, you know, regular old number 2. And we're going to line up with our 3½ inch finished. And so what I'm looking at here, let me put the paper underneath so you can see better. So there's a little line right here, and we are lining up with that one. And then we're just going to draw. And I'm going to make a pretty heavy line so that you can see it. Just like that. Willow's saying hello. And we're going to do that for 4 of them. If you don't have fat 1/8 bundles, you have fat 1/4 bundles, you just make 2 blocks instead of 1. So let's set that there. Okay, so we've got our 4 pieces. Move this out of the way. We're not going to need our ruler again for a minute. So we're going to take our strip and we're going to actually line up about 1/4 inch away from the edge of our line. So we're using this line that we drew as a guide, and then we're just going to sew on this line. And we're going to do all 4 of them on this one. Move my guide out of the way. I did set my stitch length to 1.8 millimeters, simply because we're not locking our stitches. And all of our seams point the same direction. Can you guys see okay? Right there.
Hey, Virginia.
Hi, Virginia. Welcome. We are doing the Strippy Stars ruler from Creative Grids. And I gotta say, this was so easy. I had made like 2 of these blocks trying to figure out, okay, what size does if I'm using fat eighths, what size do I need to cut? This went so fast. And then once we have that, we're just going to cut these apart. Switch back to... kind of in line with our...
Peggy said this is really different.
You're going to love it. And I am going to trim this little piece off down here too.
Yeah, you can see the block right there by your hand.
Yeah. So I've got my
Not
little...
on the camera, though.
It's not?
Not the block.
Oh, this is our finished.
Yeah.
So we're just going to press these. Here, let me just spin you around really quick. Hang on.
Girl said the camera is a really good picture. Yeah, we've been trying to work on give you some better angles, better lighting, things like that.
Yep.
You know, somewhat more professional. Semi.
And we're just pressing towards this. You're actually going to leave this piece in your block. That's according to the Creative Grids people. If you feel like you need to trim it, you do you and trim away. I left them in. I didn't have a problem sewing them together with it there. And I didn't think it got too bulky either, so. Okay, so that's the first half of our block. I'm going to trim this one off because it just...
Hello, Lynn Diamond.
It's just sticking up so much. Okay, let's go back to our sewing machine. We're going to grab our other strip, and we're going to do just the... So we've got our strip, we've got our pieces. So now, before, we had our arrow that we drew on our block pointing up, it's going to be pointing down. And again, we're going to be about a 1/4 inch away from the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you got that nice line to sew on. I thought this was really kind of a clever way to do these, because otherwise we would be using templates and trying to cut these out. If you have AccuQuilt, they're even a little bit different than what we have in the AccuQuilt. I'm still quilting.
It's like bobbin racing. I don't know. It's not bobbin chick. Well, it might be.
Well, it's a long arm bobbin, and I have it because I just changed my bobbin and I didn't put it away. I just set it there. Okay.
Don't have a mishap on her long arm.
Oh, I've had several recently.
Oh, it was more of a tragic one, though.
Yeah, it was a little bit kind of, you know. So let's switch over here. Again, we're just going to cut these. So see where my angle is? We're just going to cut these apart like this. And I'm going to trim that off. It does help to have a little waste bin nearby to put all your extras, your leave-ins. And then we're just going to press them this way. So let's slide over here and do that. You know what this is kind of like? Paper piecing without the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, all pressed. So we're actually going to trim, hang on, put you over the cutting again. We're actually going to trim from the back side. And so I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to line up two sides. This is why I love these rulers. So it sticks to my block. And look, oh my gosh, look how perfect that is. So we're going to do this with the rest of them. And I have said over and over and over, I am not a great sewer. I have great tools. This is going in my great toolbox. Get it? Toolbox. Ba-dum-bum.
Do you want me to get the jokes out again? No one else is really commenting on what they're making.
Oh my.
Just Mary. She's making bowl cozies. As gifts. Which they are great gifts.
They are good gifts. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around that we're trimming from the wrong side, because you know, you always want to look at your fabric when you're trimming it, and in this case we're not.
If you're just joining us, we're doing the Strippy Stars ruler. And we'll show you what that finished product looks like again here in a minute.
Okay, so we're ready to start piecing our block. So we have our matching fabric in the middle. And then our four corners. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna piece these.
Let's see. Ruth said, I am finished with Christmas items, so I'm playing. All right.
All right, did you switch us over?
I did.
Okay. When you're sewing past this, try to aim for that little intersection where you've made the X right here.
Let's see, your daughter's on her way over for me to add names to shirts for the husband's crew. Okay. Nice. And I'm working on UFOs. Nice.
Nice. Love that.
Right now it's a Christmas wall hanging, machine embroidery from Sweet Pea.
Nice.
Started a couple of years ago. All right.
I've done some of their
Very cool.
stuff. They had a needle storage thing I did from them. Middle piece.
$24.99.
Okay, let's switch over to the ironing board. And talk about our seams. So, the seams like this, they're going to go towards the outside. Both of these are going to go towards the outside. This one is going to go towards the middle, just like that. And I did starch my fabrics before I started cutting, so I would recommend doing that. That way you don't have to do it when you're ironing at this point. Okay, let's piece it all together. A little bit. What do you guys think? Are you loving this block as much as I am? Because this is so super easy. And I'm just nesting these seams. Okay, last little bit. How cool is that? Okay, let's switch over to the big one up here. And I'm gonna...
Let's see.
iron real
Ruth's
quick.
gonna take one. Block is great. No paper to pull out. So much faster. Beautiful. Can't wait to try it. Went faster than I thought it would. Love how it turned out.
I know.
And I really like this block. I think you were having a lot of fun making it too. Because when I got home, you're like, "See, I got these 2 blocks."
He's not kidding. I was like,
Look,
look at
I got this done.
Because he was like, what are we doing for the show? And I'm like, duh. We're doing this.
Well, that was after she said she finished a quilt today. So then she pulled out this double mug rug thing.
So, yes. We're loving this. What do you guys think? I love it on point. I love it straight. I love that you get all of the sizes in one ruler. You can use your stash. I mean, this is just worth it. So add this one. We ordered 6 because I know some of you already have this ruler. Nice thing too, it has a hook. You can hang it with the rest of your rulers. So,
It looks like a Christmas tree.
it does look like a Christmas tree. I like it. So one of the cool things about it that I haven't really talked about yet is these are floating stars. So what does that mean? So when you piece, let me bring it up here really close so that you can see it. This seam right here is bigger than 1/4 of an inch. So you don't have to worry about knocking off your points when you start piecing. Here's the other one that I made. This one's a little bit bigger. I'm just going to quote this.
Hey, Sharon.
Make it a wall hanging. But add a sashing. You've got a beautiful quilt. And I'm using fat 8s. These are my leftovers, my leave-ins. So what do you guys think? I think it's a winner. $24.99. Is that what the ruler was?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys saw how easy it was. It took me more effort to iron the fabrics than it did to make this block.
So some questions coming in if we have time for questions.
A couple minutes.
Carol's asked, how small of a block does it make?
Oh, I am going to try it out because I love the little tiny blocks. Your 1 inch. So it will make a 3-inch finished block. And so, because it's a 9 patch, so each of these sections would be 1 inch. So very cool. If you're like me and you have, so AccuQuilt, don't make a mess. Robert's eyes just got really big.
She's like got this magic box.
It is a magic
basket.
box.
Well, it's a magic basket.
It's a magic basket. This is full of 2.5-inch squares. So if you have your own little, look at all these neutrals of 2.5-inch squares that I've already done. That all I need is, what do I need? So if it's 2.5 on the ruler, I need a 1 3/4 inch strip. And nothing says your inside block has to be the same color. I have all of these like color blocks. I have a pile of fall, some Lori Holt. So
Oh, just lay one on there just for the heck of it. Let's see it.
make one?
No, just throw it on top of the block there because the center could be some other color, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you could
playing with color, you know?
Browns. That doesn't really stand out, but this orange would be fantastic. So if you have AccuQuilt and you've cut a whole bunch of these pre-cuts and you don't know what to do with them once you've already cut them all out, this is perfect. So 2.5-inch stars is going to give you a 6-inch block. If you're a fan of Kim Deal, that's right in her wheelhouse. Charm squares, if you have a very large collection of charm squares, we'll just grab a couple. You can make scrappy stars. So the widest one is 5 inches, which will give you a 15 or 4.5. So 15, 14, 13.5-inch block. No, 14.5? 3 inch, 4, 12, 13, 13.5-inch finished block. But you can use charm packs too. And we know that one of the manufacturers actually does charm squares in solids, and we have some of those in the shop. So, what other questions did you get?
I think that's all the questions that have posted so far. Does anyone have any questions for Joan? Comments?
I know I'm not the only one with a stack of 2.5-inch squares like this. Who else has this? And batiks. Look, isn't that pretty? Mm-hmm. They're just fun. It's, you know, it's the leftovers when you don't really know what to do with them. you cut them into 2.5-inch squares or strips or whatever. We use 2.5-inch squares, so that's what I do with them. Okay, Drink Club. This month's color is Cinnamon Toast. It is color number 2390.
2390.
Beautiful color. 15% off for the show if you're not in the club. If you're in the club, it's 20% off. If you want to join the club, it's $20. You get this cool box to store your thread in. And then it's fun.
Someone said you're so organized.
Oh, with the, well, I have a lot of fabric. I have to be. I haven't always been. I'm better than I used to be. But I still have my piles of stuff to deal with too. But I was working on cleaning my sewing room this weekend. I got one little section done. So hopefully it'll get better. And I have a show and tell. Look what I finished.
Nice.
Giveaway. We have a really great giveaway tonight. I have one of these. I love it. I use it all the time. It stays out. It is an 8x8 Quilter Select ruler. It is discontinued. They don't make this ruler anymore. So we took it off our shelves, and one of you lucky people, quilters, sewers, is going to get this.
Hey Carla, how are you doing?
Hi Carla.
Happy holidays to you. To everyone.
Yes, to everyone. 'Tis the season of shopping. Could add this to your Christmas list because easy. Lemon squeezy.
Mm-hmm. Flowing in there.
Yeah, I mean these are lovely. Pair it with the mat. Get the mat too, because one of the things that I love about Quilter Select is we can use our mat to measure because it is exactly the same size as the ruler when we set it down.
Congratulations to Lynn Diamond. Congrats.
Lynn, congratulations. Please let us know if you're going to pick up or if you need us to ship it to you. If you haven't shopped with us before, please go to
I'll post the
quiltershq.com.
here.
Yeah, post the ruler again. It is available to purchase on. You can pick up in the store or we can ship it to you.
This is the ruler we've been using tonight. Like there's a mouse in the pocket. That Joan's been using tonight.
I like it. I do like it. It's
a pretty fun little demo.
Yeah. I mean, this was nothing. I mean, really, I'm not exaggerating when I say it took longer to iron the fabric than this.
Show that other block. What do you guys think?
This is a 12-inch block.
It's really pretty.
So this would have been using the 4.5, but I'm using fat 8s, which are 9x22. So getting the 4.5-inch squares out of this is a miracle. I think I found one that was wide enough, but I am going to be playing with some of these to, you know, make the little ones, because a 6-inch scrappy star like this just speaks to me. I love the little stuff, but this is a good size. We put together a quilt and nothing flat. I think it looks pretty amazing on point too.
Yeah, we'll let them know when the rulers come in, and hopefully this week. But with shipping, gosh only knows.
Well, tis the season for shipping too.
For the backup.
So that's us. For
they
tonight.
wanted to know if we're on next week. Yeah,
it's Tuesday. Yeah, we'll be here.
Yep.
Yep. So We have some new exciting stuff coming next year, so stay tuned for that. I think it'll be good for everybody.
Yeah.
So, as always, check your thread path, change your needle, and I'm going to add another one. Change your rotary blade too, because mine's kind of dull and, you know, I'm cutting through 8 layers of fabric. I need a new blade. Change your rotary blade and then oil your hook on your sewing machine before you bring your machine in for a spa day.
Also, you can probably start bringing your quilts in for quilting. I mean, they won't be done before Christmas.
No,
but,
we are past the cutoff for
we'll
Christmas.
be starting that whole January run. So, you know, anything that you're making through the Christmas and you want to get quilted, come on in and get that ready to go.
Yep. We'll see you next week if we don't see you sooner.
Have a great week.
Good night.